Hi everybody, it's Erika of the Knit Kind podcast and Grapefruit and Gardenia Designs. I just finished recording my podcast about the Lifeline shawl. I need to edit it. It's a little bit long and I just need to make it smooth and put some pictures in and those kind of things. But I'm popping in for another reason in the meantime. And that is, I told you I wasn't sure when I was going to show the sweater design, but that when I felt confident we were going to be moving into testing soon, I would probably give you a little sneak peek. So I thought I'd pop in today since I have a little bit of time and I am now confident we're going to be in testing soon to show you the sweater and see if it's maybe something you're interested in testing. So this is not going to be a long podcast. This is just a little glimpse of the inspiration, because I have to share that at the same time, and a sneak peek. And I will be putting together the test call to go on Yarn Pond and reaching out to people who have either let me know they're interested in testing in the past or joined my testing pool on Yarn Pond first. So if you are interested, you can send me an email to grapefruitgardenia@gmail.com. You can direct message me on Instagram, though every once in a while, the direct messages, they don't always come through when it's a request right away. So probably your best bet is emailing me. You can contact me on Ravelry. I'm NittyElf40 if you want to have first dibs on a colorwork yoke sweater for testing. And the other reason I'm popping in is I will have the yardage soon. There'll be estimates before testing, but I will have the yardage estimate soon, so that if you're going to one of the fall festivals and you want to get some yarn in person, you can do that. Okay, here we are, drum roll. It's always a little bit, when you share a design for the first time, you don't know if people are going to like it or not. But I like it, and it has a lot of really good energy behind it. This is just happy, whimsical, and that's why it's named Gingerbread Whimsy. Gingerbread, you wondering what's going on with that? Well, the gingerbread cottages on Martha's Vineyard are where I spent my summers growing up and still get to go to as an adult, and I'm so fortunate. Bring my son, and it is just tradition. It is a diverse community. Wasn't always. Actually, it was pretty forward thinking, but there's also, as with anything, complications. But Oak Bluffs, if you know Oak Bluffs, has always also been known as a really important part of Black history in our country too. So I feel great about celebrating a place that brings me joy and a lightness of heart, and has done that for generations of people, and to do it in a colorwork sweater design that I actually managed to finish, to take pictures at the cottages, which I can't believe, and share it with you. Okay, here it is. This is the yoke, and this is the little cuff, which has gotten a lot of very positive attention, because sometimes it's the little details like a cuff that just make you love something, whether or not you would love it just based on the yoke. So I'm going to insert some pictures, of course. This is, so you can see the colors. This is a natural chocolate or charcoal or just deep brown espresso. It's any of those. Ooh, my favorite things, espresso, chocolate, all good things. And this is Alpenglow from Junction Fiber Mill, the DK weight. And what this captures for me is not an exact replica of any one of the gingerbread cottages, but the essence of sort of a conglomerate of them, the essence of what it feels like to be there. I started playing with colorwork designs a couple of years ago, and there's so many things that go on. I just couldn't, it wasn't exactly right, and I was doing other things and going back and forth. And so let me show you a little bit actually about each part. So at the top, you can take this in a few different directions. The gingerbread cottages were specifically started where I am as a Methodist campground that people went to worship together, and they were also originally tents before they became cottages. And so at the peak of a lot of them, you will see what was originally meant to either symbolize or actually be one of the tent posts that then became a cottage. Some of them look like crosses. So for people who have more formal religion in your life and like that, you can see it as a cross. For people who, just see it as a design element or something that symbolized the tent going to a cottage, you can see it as that. And I even made it a little bit shorter so that it also looks like the fleur-de-lis. And in many of the cottages and some of the pictures you'll see I took, there is like the French fleur-de-lis decoration. So it's not meant to be just one of those things. It's meant to be what you want it to be. And then this is meant to be a heart, and that does have to do both with the actual hearts that are cut out in some of the gingerbread designs, as well as just being a place to kind of hold and love. And then it goes into these other designs. And the swirl here is very distinct, and I wanted to have a design that was very distinct. And so the gingerbread work on the houses, a lot of them have swirls like this. And that was probably for sure, that was the hardest part of the design for me to settle on. I actually did about 5 different versions. Some looked more like fish hooks, which were very cool also, but did not repeat well across, in my opinion. They didn't capture what I wanted, so they looked great in a swatch with like 3 of them next to each other, but then I knew it was going to be too much blank space between. Anyway, I'm getting kind of into the weeds here, so we don't need to do that. But that is what the essence of it is meant to look like, is all the gingerbread cottages. I'll insert some pictures of me in the gingerbread cottages, as well as the different motifs that are on the houses. There's different ones that repeat across, and then same thing here. You'll see like your hearts and your fleur-de-lis, which makes for really nice stranding repeats as well. And then your corrugated rib. It is top down. It is seamless. It is begun. I used an alternating cable cast on so we could have that nice little rolled edge, but you don't have to. You can do whatever you want at the top. And so if this looks like something you want to test, it looks like something I want to wear, I'm excited. I'm going to wear it to Rhinebeck and Vermont Sheep and Wool if it's cold enough. Then let me know. I'd love to have you in the test group. Obviously, if we get a lot of people requesting to do the same size, I can't always accommodate everyone, but a few other details about it. It is graded in 12 different sizes, starting with a 32-inch bust, finished garment design, all the way up to a 70-inch bust. Optional short rows at the neck, optional short rows at the hem. I don't know. Is there anything else you need to know about it? We'll do at least an 8-week deadline. So in terms of how long you would have to knit it, at least 8 weeks, potentially as many as 10 to 12, especially if you're knitting a larger size and you need the extra time. I would love to have it tested. And so, we do everything that we can to support size inclusivity and testing of things. It is junction fiber mill, doesn't have to be, but it is junction fiber mill designed. So the making tracks, DK, and then this is one of the farm fresh yarns. So you can use roots, farm fresh, or, any yarn. If you are a fiber festival shopper and you want to look for something comparable, it happens to be a 2-ply, a DK weight, but heavy DK, light worsted. It is a 21 stitch gauge, so it's knit a little bit tighter than I would normally knit that yarn. But for me, for the motif, it was really important that the motif was tight. And I don't mean like tight as in too tight knitting, but I mean like to get a swirl like this to work, I wanted my stitches to be a little bit more compact. And so thank you for those of you who have already reached out, who, love new designs or are already thinking about what yarn you might want to buy. And that's it. Gingerbread whimsy. Don't we all need a little bit of gingerbread whimsy in our life right now? I do. Lifeline shawl and gingerbread whimsy sweater. That'll get me through. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great week. Knit kindly, live kindly, and check out the Lifeline Shawl podcast when that comes out. See you soon.